gentlemen, boys and girls, and 16 recently discovered genders. Welcome back to Crypto Tonight. You are the Crypto Tonight Warriors here live on Huobi Global. It is so awesome to be here with you right now. Now, we have seen many opportunities come and go in crypto. A lot of opportunities that sound just too good to be true. Can I really earn 100,000% interest in crypto? Can I really earn 500,000% interest in crypto? Can I really achieve these things? Are they possible? Well, the answer may or may not surprise some of you. And there's pretty much more than one answer really. And tonight we're going to get into that. These types of opportunities, are they legitimate? And if not, what are some of the red flags? What are some of the warning signs? So without further ado, grab yourself some drinks, some snacks, put up your feet and enjoy the ride. Yeah. So right now we're going to start off by going through a couple of articles first. And then after we get through these articles, we will be getting into some examples as well. So this topic was called, can you earn 500,000% in crypto? For a reason. I didn't just make up that number, it was for a reason. So we're going to start off by going through a couple of articles, and we're beginning with yield farming. We're not going to go through everything in the article, we're just going to go through what is relevant to us. So yield farming is the process of using decentralized finance, otherwise known as DeFi, to maximize your returns. Users lend or borrow crypto on a DeFi platform and earn cryptocurrency in return for their services. Yield farmers who want to increase their yield output can employ more complex tactics. For example, yield farmers can constantly shift their cryptos between multiple loan platforms to optimize their gains. So how exactly does yield farming work? Yield farming allows investors to earn yield by putting coins or tokens in a decentralized application or dApp. Examples of dApps include, but are not limited to, crypto wallets, decentralized exchanges, and decentralized social media, and more. Yield farmers generally use decentralized exchanges to lend, borrow, or stake coins. Okay, we're looking at the staking thing tonight. To earn interest and speculate on price swings. Yield farming across DeFi is facilitated by smart contracts, pieces of code that automate financial agreements between two or more parties. And before we continue, please let me know in the live chat box which country you are watching from, and also let me know in the live chat box if the music is too loud, because I had to readjust some things for the last stream. So please, live chat box, which country are you from, and is the music too loud? Yeah. All right, next up, we have types of yield farming: liquidity provider, lending, borrowing, staking. We're not going to be touching the lending tonight, and we're not going to be touching the borrowing tonight. We will be looking at liquidity provider staking or farming and direct staking as well. Now, liquidity providing, users deposit 2 coins to a DEX or decentralized exchange to provide trading liquidity. Exchanges charge a small fee to swap the 2 tokens, which is paid to liquidity providers. This fee can sometimes be paid in new liquidity pool tokens. So basically, when you're putting in this pair of coins, you'll notice in your wallet, you'll see something like LP minus 1278X blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much your identifier, your liquidity identifier. You cannot, send this around and spend it and swap it. A lot of people get excited when they start farming and they see this in their wallet and they're like, oh, free money, free tokens. But it doesn't quite work like that. So moving along, we then move on to staking. Now, there are 2 forms of staking in the world of DeFi. The main form is on proof of stake blockchains, where a user is paid interest to pledge their tokens to the network to provide security. The second is to stake LP tokens earned from supplying a decentralized exchange with liquidity. This allows users to earn yield twice, as they are paid for supplying liquidity in LP tokens, which they can then stake to earn more yield. Next up, we are looking at, that's enough from this article, a very important point. What is the difference between farming and staking in crypto? Compared to yield farming, staking cryptocurrencies has a more technical purpose. Instead of boosting liquidity and providing lending services, it supports the blockchain itself. In particular, staking is used to validate transactions on networks that use the proof of stake mechanism. Now, the other night we did have somebody ask in one of the live streams, what exactly is APY? And I said, we will get into this in another stream. And before we continue, quick shout outs in the live chat box. Who's watching? We have Theodore6411, Crypto 007, War, Silva Mastro, Fusaru, Via, Ignatius, I hope I said that correctly, B4A36, Porter G, Rukayat, and the list goes on and on. Supra 78, I'm a big fan of the Supra. If you're talking about the car, I'm a big fan. Triang Pahang, Kuala Lumpur, Chennai in India. Beautiful. I love these streams. They bring people from all over the world together. I love it. Thank you everybody for watching, and keep smashing that like button. All right, moving along. APR and APY. We've heard these terms so many times. Many of you watching probably already know what APR is, and many of you probably also know what APY is. But for those who don't know, this is something really important that we do need to get through before we get to the juicy content of this evening's stream. So, moving along, APR stands for annual percentage rate. APY stands for annual percentage yield. APR is an acronym for annual percentage rate, as we just mentioned, but the term is mostly used when defining the interest that is paid on a mortgage, credit card, or another loan. You can apply APR to any interest rate and it will always be equal or smaller than APY. APR generally does not need any calculations to compute. It's simply the rate applied to money that is borrowed. Lenders usually apply this rate as often as possible. For example, if your credit card APR is 15%, they apply that percentage to your average credit card balance every day after the grace period. The credit card company divides the 15% APR by 365 days in the year. The result is a daily periodic rate of 0.41%. If you pay off your balance after the interest is applied once, then 15% is an accurate representation of your interest rate. If you carry a balance from month to month, however, then you're paying more than what you think you are. Annual percentage yield. This is a common term when defining the interest paid in a savings, checking, or in other interest-bearing accounts. Unlike APR, APY reflects interest paid on interest. Thus, APY is always higher than APR. Interest is generally compounded quarterly, monthly, or daily. As a result, the interest added to your account becomes part of your average daily balance. The balance increases when interest is applied. Since your balance is now higher, more interest will accrue the following month. The amount of interest you earn will grow each month unless you withdraw from the account. So in a nutshell, APY, or annual percentage yield, you've put money into an interest account, whether it be crypto or non-crypto. You earn money, that's the interest, right? But instead of you taking that money out straight away, you think, you know what, I'm going to add it to the pool of my original investment, so that way the next payout I get will be more money because my bag has gone bigger and I'm getting more interest for every dollar that's in that bag, that's in that account. The correct terminology for this is compounding, right? So when we keep growing and growing and growing the amount in our account, that's compounding. And not sure what your experience is, if you've had any in terms of these high yield staking schemes, but if you have, you would have noticed in a lot of Telegram groups, people who are involved and invested in them say things like, I will hodl for life, I'm never selling, I will hodl till I die, I'm going to keep accumulating more, keep compounding more, and keep growing my interest. These are some very, very dangerous words, and they all relate to one thing. Auto compounding. Many of you would have come across crypto projects that are specifically designed for auto compounding, automatic compounding. So you put your crypto in, you're staking it, you're earning crypto, and it automatically goes back into your original pool, and your original pool or your original bag gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you accumulate more and more and more tokens or coins as time goes by. It sounds good in the beginning, but once you look at the bigger picture, you'll understand how truly dangerous these types of staking mechanisms are. By saying that, there is a very, very, very high chance of you losing a lot of money, if not all of them. But there is also a chance, small chance, but it's possible that you could also make a lot of money. And I will be discussing this tonight as well. How's the like button going? Come on, guys, we can do a lot better in the live chat box. Crypto 007, with love from India. Rukavat is asking English, please. We have Xavier watching from Malaysia. We have Fusaru is also from Malaysia. Awesome. All right, so let's get back to what we were talking about. Let's get back on track to our topic. Let me know in the live chat box if you have learned something yet. So API is like a fixed interest rate, and APY is when compounding comes into the scene, or auto compounding comes into the scene. So hope you've learned something so far. Now, next up, we're going to look at impermanent loss. Now, impermanent loss it can be a very tricky topic to explain, and every person you ask about impermanent loss, you'll pretty much get a slightly different answer. So I actually had to do research online to make sure I get the wording right, because whatever I tell you, it'll be different from the next person, and different and different and different. So I really want to make impermanent loss clear, because a lot of people do get involved in farming and they have absolutely no idea about impermanent loss, and then they're in for a very rude surprise when they check their account, their wallets, and not good. So impermanent loss. Impermanent loss is a unique risk involved with providing liquidity to dual asset pools. In DeFi protocols, it is the difference in value between two cryptocurrency assets within an automated market maker based liquidity pool, or simply holding them in a cryptocurrency wallet. Now, when we say automated market maker, the common term for this is AMM. And to give you an example of what an automatic market maker is, they're places like PancakeSwap, Uniswap, those decentralized exchanges. That's pretty much it, just to not confuse you. Essentially, it occurs when depositing them into automatic market maker, or AMM, and then withdrawing them at a later date results in a loss, compared to if you had just hodled them and left them in your wallet. In fact, you may not actually lose any money, but rather your gains are less relative to you if you had just left your assets untouched. Inversely, losses can be amplified depending on how the market moves. The phrase earns its name because any losses are only realized once the funds are withdrawn from the liquidity pool. Until then, any losses are only on paper and may reduce or disappear completely depending on how the market changes. And here we see an excellent example. So we're looking at providing liquidity, and as opposed to if we had held in wallet. Now, with date one, the value of the asset pair was $200 on providing liquidity. If we had held it in our wallet and it was $200, okay, cool. But when we withdraw, the value of the asset pair providing the liquidity was $270. But if we had just hodled it and not put it into liquidity, we would have actually been $30 on top and kept $300, right? So that's the liquidity impermanent loss in a nutshell. Please feel free to do your own research on Google. Like, you really need to understand this. You really need to know this before you get involved into farming. So before we get into a couple of examples, I just want to make sure we haven't missed anything here. Yeah, that's cool. Yep, cool. All right, so next up, we are going to be looking at a couple of examples, and these are not reviews. I will be showing some websites. They are 100% not reviews, and we're just going to get straight to the point on each one. I will not be giving financial advice. I will not be encouraging you or discouraging you to do anything, but I just need you to pay real close attention, and I do give a word of warning before we proceed to the next step. If you see something on your screen next that you like and you think, oh, that looks really good, really juicy, and straight away you rush to jump on it, do not take any action until you have at least finished watching this stream. It is so important. I cannot stress this enough, and I'm not saying this for the views. The information I'm about to give you could save you a lot of money. Seriously, a lot of money. So you might like what you see on the screen, but don't go rushing while I'm talking and start putting money into these things, and just wait until you've heard me say the last word for this evening. All right. Quick look at the live chat box before we go to that very important, exciting next step. Quick look, what's going on in the live chat? Fiddle64 is asking, the bear market, has it ended or not? Fear is making all in fear. We're still in bearish conditions at the moment, and there are indicators, and I have mentioned this in previous live streams. A really good indicator is trading volume. So when you see high trading volume, it means more public interest. When you see lower trading volume, it's less public interest. When you find two coins, for example, two new coins, one of them has $100 trading volume, $100 in 24 hours, and the other coin has $10 million 24-hour trading volume, then you know that there's more public interest in the coin with $10 million trading volume as opposed to the coin with $100 trading volume. So right now we are in bearish conditions. There's a war wars going on internationally. Inflation is on the move. A lot of people are minimizing their risks and taking out their funds. They're taking out their assets. They're taking out their stocks. They're taking out their crypto. People want to make sure that they can afford to put food on the table next week, next month, and so forth. And to do that, to give themselves the assurance that they are minimizing their risks. And crypto is a high risk industry as well, as we all know. So we're seeing panic sell-offs. People want to make sure that they don't lose too much money. I hope that makes sense. And we are, Zubikan in the live chat box must be a mind reader. You just read my mind, Zubikan, in the live chat box. I was just about to mention the next Bitcoin halving in 2 years. So Zubikan in the live chat box says, now the bull run, the next bull run will most probably be coming in 2024 after Bitcoin halving because of recession. So look, you could be right, you could be wrong, but this is crypto and anything can happen, and it usually does. We've seen some crazy movements in this industry, some very unbelievable movements in this industry. Thiru is saying, Huobi also have a staking zone. I hope Huobi will give more coin, more APY. Yeah, look, they all operate differently, and they're set the way they are set for reasons, not only to protect the coin, but to protect yourself. Because imagine if everybody was making a ton of money, people like me, like myself, I don't compound. I take my profits, and we'll actually talk about that right now, actually, because I was going to bring it up later, but we'll talk about it now since we are on the topic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in Telegram community groups for projects associated with these types of staking mechanisms, people say, I will hold for life, I will hold until I die, I will keep compounding and adding back to my bag everything I get to make my bag bigger. Now, I look at this in a term as, I call it suicide compounding or suicide compounder. if I was to get involved in a compounding project, which I don't do often, I don't do it often at all, but if I did, let's say I put in, for example, $1,000. Once I put in that $1,000 and it starts to stake and I start getting those rewards, my first goal, and this is not financial advice, this is how I do it, everybody is different. My first goal is to get back as much money as quickly as possible to get back my ROI, my return on investment. So once that $1,000 is invested, my first goal is to get that 1,000 back without touching that 1,000 that's already in there invested. I will get it back from the rewards. All right, makes sense? Then let's say after a period of time, I do make that $1,000 in back, and I've still got my $1,000 investment staking. I've won, I win. But you're probably thinking to yourself, but what if you compounded it? Then you'll be earning more. Right, so if I put $1,000 in and an hour later or a day later, I make $10 profit, for example, from that 1,000, and then I put it back into the pool, it's been a day and I still haven't made any money. I still haven't made any profit. And if I do it for a week, and let's say I've staked $100 in my first week, I put 1,000 in and I've gotten back 100 in week one. And then I decide, instead of taking it out, I'll put it back into the staking pool. It's been a week and I still haven't made $1 back in my pocket, the realized gains. We are after the realized gains here, right? So that's my mission. If we can achieve this with staking protocols and we come out on top, we've won. And whatever's left as the investment still staking is the bonus. So your job now is done. And the next step is up to you, what you want to do next. Do you want to keep getting passive income, free money? Because it's like you invested $0 now. You put 1,000 in, you put 1,000, pulled 1,000 out, and you still got money producing now for you. Will you continue to pull out the funds, or will you start compounding then? But to me, my unprofessional and irrelevant opinion, compounding, suicide compounding, I am not a suicide compounder. And we're going to get a little bit more into that shortly. All right, so examples now. Are you ready? Live chat box, quickly, live chat box. Live chat box is very important to me. Number one, live chat box. Number one. Yep, Zubikan raises a very spot on point as well. Thiru, thank you for the comment. I'm so glad I explained that properly, because this is really technical stuff. But this stuff is so important for everybody in crypto to know, especially with the examples, the examples I'm about to show you. And I highly recommend that everybody watching encourages other people to specifically watch this video. It could save their life. I'm not joking. Their financial life anyway. All right, a couple of examples. Here we go. Yeah. This protocol here, as you can see, has apparently the world's highest fixed APY at 4,037%. They give out the rewards every 30 minutes for 48 times a day. Now, I'm not going to get into more because this is not a review. This is just an example of what we're discussing tonight. So when you look at this, you're thinking, all right, this sounds pretty cool. How much money could I make on 4,000%? So I'm going to bring up something I haven't typed in yet. Just bear with me one moment so I can bring this up. This is really important stuff. Really important stuff. I'm bringing it up now. All right, so I'm going to go back to that website. The APY, so this one here is what we discussed, where it compounds. This is a compounding one, where instead of you taking the profits, you actually reinvest them back into the pool. So 4,037%, let's say we decided to put in, I don't know, $5,000, or yeah, let's say $1,000, okay? So $1,000, what is 4,037%? So in theory, in the first year, in theory, if we started doing the auto compounding staking on this platform, we would earn $40,370, right? And you don't do anything, you just let it do it itself. It's automatically compounding. 40,000, don't go, again, I'm warning you, don't go rushing to these platforms before this stream finishes until you've heard everything. You need to hear everything before you make decisions. We put in $1,000, 12 months later, we pull out $40,000. This is amazing, passive income, blah, 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 blah. But what's the catch? The catch is, if the price of the token that you're staking and auto compounding does not move in price, not even by 1 cent for 12 months, then in theory, you have generated $40,370. This is crypto. Do coins stay the same price? Or is this a highly volatile industry? The only cryptos are the stable coins. The stable ones are the stable coins, right? So this means nothing. This does not tell me anything really. It's just something to play tricks on your mind psychologically so you can start using the platform. Because I'm telling you now, from my experience, when the coin price starts dropping, it doesn't matter how many tokens you've staked and generated, you will most likely lose. Well, if the price goes down, yeah, you will most likely, when I say most likely lose, in my unprofessional and irrelevant opinion, I would say 99% of the time. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you another example. So here we're looking at pairings that are being farmed, and BUSD and SYNC, for example, SYNC token. If you look at the APR, it's 65% per annum. But if you look at the APY, it's 92%. Now that you see it, is it making sense? So which one is the auto compounding one? Which rate is the compounding one? Is it the APR that automatically compounds your earnings, or is it the APY that automatically compounds your earnings? Let me know in the live chat box. I would also love to hear from you, and shout out to the live chat box to Steve LHFS. Good morning to you too. And shout out to Attic So and Anshuman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm going to wait a few more seconds, see if anyone can give me an answer in the live chat box. Which of the two are the automatic compounding rates? Is it the APR or the APY? Is it the 65% or the 92%? Please let me know in the live chat. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right, so there is a bit of a delay between the live stream and the live chat, so I will give you the answer. The answer is the APY, of course, the 92.5%. So let's say now, as you can see on the right, the liquidity there makes up for $4,280. And we're looking at APY of 92%. Let's go to a better example. Let's go down one spot to the SYNC token / BNB. This is better. So APY is 142%. Liquidity is $1,600. So let's say you put in $2,000, and after a year, you've made 1.5 times. How much did we say? Let's say, $2,000. So then after 12 months with the APY, with the automatic compound, you come out with $3,500. Yes, exciting, awesome, beautiful. But there's a problem here, a big problem. If we look at the liquidity, it's $1,500. How are you going to take out $3,500 when there's only $1,600 available for that pool? That can be a bit of an issue, especially with these exclusive staking platforms, the exclusive ones. Now, another thing you got to look at as well, let me just have a look down the list here. What have they got? Let's go by sort by APR. All right, so look at this one, the first one, double H NFT / BNB pairing. The liquidity here is $20, but let's forget about the liquidity for now. Let's say you staked a whole lot of this HH NFT coins. What I do is, before getting involved in a platform like this, I'll go to Coingecko and I'll type in HHNFT and I'll look it up and see what's going on, see if it's doing well. Now, I could be staking maybe thousands or hundreds and thousands of these tokens. I'm thinking, yes, free money, I'm getting so many, the APY is so high, or the APR, depending which one you pick, is so high, I am doing awesome. Slow down a little bit, because the coin itself is not doing awesome. Its 24-hour trading volume is basically nothing. There is nothing to report here. Its price is really, really low, and you're basically looking at something that doesn't really exist. So you're really losing money, and you probably lost it all as well. Another thing I want to show you is going back to this one. This one was called Libero. Check this out. I'll go back to Coingecko. I'll type in Libero. I want to find out if I can put, for example, a huge amount of investment, can I turn it into $1 million at these rates? So at their rates, it was like 4,037% APY. So I figure out a number that could get me, let's say, if I put this amount in and stake it, I know it will make me $5 million with the rates, okay? So I do this next. I go to Coingecko, I type up the coin. I copy the contract address. So next to, I'm highlighting it here because you can't see my mouse, but I copy the contract. I go to some place called Twocoin, for example. Enter token name or address. I paste. I look up this coin, see what's going on. How much liquidity do they have? Will they be able to pay me my $5 million payout once I get the right amount of tokens? If you look to the left, you will see it's a little bit cut off, but Libero / BNB LP Holdings is $793,000. So in theory, the $5 million worth of tokens that you thought you'd get in 12 months because your calculations are right, they won't be worth you won't get $5 million for them because there's just not enough liquidity. So you got to check the liquidity of these tokens to see if they are even worth staking for. Otherwise, there is no point. There is no point in staking coins at $5 million market value when you can only get $20,000 for them. A lot of people miss this point, and a lot of people lose massively because of this as well. So that were the examples. Now there's one more I want to show you, an example. And we did mention 500,000 APR, right? Or APY. This one here, it actually does exist. Do not go rushing into it until we finish this stream. Here, this one claims they have a 900, I'm just going to say 500,000% fixed APY, fixed, right? And they're claiming if you invest $1,000, you will earn up to $500,000 at this rate because it's fixed. So if we invest $1,000 and 12 months later, this auto compounding one gives us $500,000 worth of tokens, they will not really be worth that much because the price changes. The price keeps changing. So this sounds very exciting, but what we're going to do next is we're going to do our homework. We're going to find out if we could actually get $500,000 from a staking platform or mechanism like this. So again, we'll go to good old handy Coingecko. We type in the name of the token. We look it up. We then look at its 24-hour trading volume, $25. Very, very bad. This is basically a dead coin. A dead coin. This is not going to be around for very long by the looks of it, not financial advice. We then copy the contract. Copy it. Go back to Twocoin, good old handy Twocoin. Paste the address in there. Let's see how much liquidity they really have available. And here we're looking at $95,000 liquidity, just a little bit above $95,000 in liquidity. You're not going to get that $500,000, my friends. You will not even dream of seeing it with this amount of liquidity. Also, one more thing I will show you that's really, really handy to know, and you will be using this too. If you don't already do it, you will be doing it, okay? So we still have the contract address for this project. So what we're thinking now, I'm going to give you an example next. What if I did put $1,000, and what if I have a target of maybe pulling it out at 50,000 when it becomes $50,000, not 95, but at $50,000. That sounds more safer, doesn't it? Stop right there. There's one more step we need to take before assuming such a thing. We need to know our competition. We need to know who else we are up against. Are we up against anyone? Because what if 10,000 other people are thinking the exact same thing you are? What this means is whoever gets there first will see that 50,000, and then after $50,000, there will only be $45,000 in liquidity left. So how do we find out what we're up against? Our competition. Because we want to be the smart and fast ones. And if we see there's a lot of competition out there, then we just don't touch it. We move on to the next thing. So how exactly do we do that? Well, I'm going to bring up quickly, because this is a BNB chain token. We still have the contract address. We'll go to bscscan.com, binance-smart-chain.com. In the filter here, we paste our address that we've copied, the contract. We look it up. Now, once you're on this page, you see the tracker. I'm going to highlight it here. Tracker. I'm going to leave that there for a few seconds before going to the next step. Click on the name of the project. Once you load the next page, you will see, sort of in the middle, holders, 3,910 addresses. So this could potentially mean that you may be up against 3,910 other people thinking the same thing that you are thinking now, and that's trying to get a majority of the liquidity before somebody else does. But how possible is that exactly? So just going down the page a little bit more, we look at holders, click on it, and then here we can start seeing the holders and how much of the token they're holding. So we've got, for example, if you look at rank number 4, I hope my screen, let me enlarge my screen a little bit. Okay, that's a bit, I think that's a bit better for the phone, for the app. At rank number 4, this holder has 118,924 of these tokens, which makes up for 1.43% of the supply. The total value is 1,712. Now, looking at the volume and how low it is, and looking at these amounts here, I'm assuming that these amounts were leftover dust from everybody else selling out. Because at 500,000% APY, these are really, really small amounts that people might have just left after selling off. So this gives you an indication of how likely and how quickly others would get to that majority of the liquidity before you do. So this one, I'm not going to say it looks safer, but it looks okay-ish. Okay-ish. And it honestly looks like a lot of these wallets have pretty much forgotten about what they have left in there. So this is, in theory, a very dangerous project. But at the end of the day, the question remains. The question remains, can we or can we not make 500% 500,000% in crypto? The answer is yes. But how? We just looked at liquidity and we know there's not enough liquidity. We won't get enough money. How is this sustainable? That is the question. How? I'm saying yes, we can. But how? After everything we saw, heard, and read, it's not quite possible with what we looked at, the staking mechanisms we looked at tonight. The answer to this, my friends, my brothers and sisters, is when they say to you, you will earn 500,000% APY, they don't mean in dollars. They mean in tokens. They do not care about the dollar value of what you're making or earning or compounding or selling. They're telling you, we promise you, we'll give you 500,000% APY, auto compounded, but in tokens. And that's what makes it in some way sustainable. But if we say we're going to give you 500,000% APY auto compounded on your $1,000 investment, not your tokens, then that's actually real money, as long as there's the liquidity, of course. But that would not be sustainable because, as we saw, there is no liquidity. So they can't say 500,000%, earn it on $1,000 to make $500,000, because it would not be sustainable due to liquidity reasons. Tokens, no problem. They can give you 10 trillion tokens a day and it's still sustainable because they're just tokens. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the price is. So, as we mentioned earlier, the way I do things, I never auto compound. I'm not a suicide compounder. I put money in. I try to get as much of the investment back as possible. And then once I know I've got my $1,000 back and there's still $1,000 investment making me passive income, I can sleep at night knowing that I haven't lost a single dollar. The next day, if I wake up and there's $100 of profit made overnight from the staking, I will take that out and I know now I'm in profit. When I get back the original investment, I've broken even until I pull out that next dollar. And after that, it's all passive income. You might decide to keep the investment in there and keep pulling out passive income. That's fine. But you might think, all right, this coin has got my return of investment back. I'm happy. I've made a little bit of profit, but it's the price of the coin now seems to be going down, 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 down. And my $1,000 investment is now becoming unrealized losses. It's gone from $1,000 investment to $950 investment. And then the next day it's gone down to $800 investment. I'm thinking, all right, I got my original back. I did take some more profits after that. Maybe it's time for me to just pull the rest out of the investment and get that remaining $500 out. And that is the last bonus to your investment. So the only way, in my unprofessional and irrelevant opinion, to succeed when it comes to these high yield staking mechanisms is that put in, get it out as quickly as possible. Do not muck around. And one more example I want to quickly show you before we finish the stream. I'm getting a little bit tired here. When I first started looking at this one, it was quite a while ago. The percentage rates were actually really, really high. They were like close to 1,000,000%. And the more people got on board and started using it, the more the percentage got spread out because it was not fixed, and the percentages were dropping very, very quickly. So what I learnt from this one especially, I had put in this one $10,000 investment, and within 19 hours, not even a day, within 19 hours, I had got back my original $10,000 investment plus another $9,000. But the way I actually did it, you have to really be in front of your computer. You cannot afford to lose time. If you see that a new farm pool is going to launch at 10 o'clock this evening and you're thinking, all right, this could make me some good money, you have to make sure that the moment it launches, straight away, you've started, you're staking, okay? And usually with these types of protocols, they give the payouts like every few seconds. The most amount of money to be made is as soon as they launch, when the rates are really, really high. You'll probably make a majority of your return in the first hour, maybe 2, but usually in the first hour, the majority. And the value of the payouts become less as time go by. I made the money and I left the original investment in there. So I got my $10,000 back, and without pulling it out, made another 9,000 on top, and still had the 10,000 in there. That was staking, but again, it was dropping really, really fast. It got down to about $2,000 within a matter of, I don't know, 2 weeks or something. And that's when I said, all right, I'll just take that out now, right? It's done. I'm happy, I made money, did well, I'll do it again. The next time came, I did it again. This time, I was at my friend's house, and we're both going to do this together. And we were sitting there chatting, like talking to each other, having a good time, waiting for this new stake to start. And we didn't really realize that it started half an hour early. Like, we missed the time by 30 minutes. And by missing that 30-minute window, we actually lost money. It was not good, just from losing 30 minutes. So basically, when I did it the first time, when I say pulling out the money as it comes in every few seconds, I was literally in front of my PC, and it was constant withdraw and sell, sell and withdraw, like one after the other. I paid a lot of gas fees, but compared to the money that was made, the gas fees did not matter. And it was like hard to even go to the toilet. Like, you did not want to waste time, because if you got up to go to the toilet, there would be other people selling as well, and that's bringing down the price with it. So you could lose $200 just by going to the toilet. So when I said earlier 19 hours, it was 19 hours, we did not sleep. We were like zombies in front of the computers, the laptops, just constantly sell, withdraw. And after those 2 experiences, I was like, I'm getting too old for this. I can't keep doing this. I just can't. It works if you are just a zombie tech, you have to be dedicated. You cannot leave it. So that's my story on high yield staking protocols. I hope you guys learnt something from this stream tonight. One quick look at the live chat before we give this a wrap. Also, while I look at the live chat box, just quickly before I forget, I always forget these. And okay, and yes, okay, cool. 1 second. And all right, while I look at the live chat box, feel free to join Crypto Tonight, the official YouTube channel as well. And I see that I've blocked myself there.